Let's play a game. Think of a famous painting. Guess what? You just thought of me. Today, I'm the world's most renowned work of art, but it wasn't always this way. My story is full of surprises.
Whether you've stood mesmerized in front of the Mona Lisa at the Louvre, seen her mysterious gaze in documentaries, or recognized her from iconic movie scenes, you're familiar with the world's most celebrated painting. Now, imagine if the very essence of what made the Mona Lisa a global phenomenon could be distilled and applied to amplify your own endeavors. Today, we're diving deep into the elements behind Mona Lisa's universal acclaim and crafting a step-by-step strategy for you. Ready to elevate your work to the realm of masterpieces? Da Vinci, a name synonymous with genius and unparalleled artistry, was a polymath of the Renaissance, juggling roles from an inventor to a scientist. Yet, among the myriad of masterpieces he's credited for, the Mona Lisa stands alone, capturing the world's imagination. The Mona Lisa's allure isn't merely a testament to Da Vinci's finesse with the brush or his groundbreaking techniques. Sure, his application of sfumato imparted a lifelike softness to the painting. And yes, his unmatched talent at capturing the minutiae of human expressions set him apart. But what if I told you that the Mona Lisa's global fame wasn't solely anchored in the strokes of Da Vinci's genius? Beyond the artistry, beyond the mesmerizing gaze and the intricate details, lie elements, stories, events, theories that elevated this masterpiece to its iconic status. Today, we venture beyond the canvas to uncover these elements. And as we peel back the layers, we'll also guide you on leveraging similar dynamics, empowering your own projects and endeavors to stand out just as Mona Lisa does in the annals of art.
Some people are disappointed when they first see the most famous painting in the world. At first glance, it doesn't have the wow factor that other paintings in the Louvre have. It lacks drama. But if we can ignore the hundreds of people that surround her, if we can turn down the volume and just push the off button for a second, what we actually see is a quiet, contemplative painting. The greatest psychological portrait ever painted. A portrait so ahead of its time that centuries later we are still trying to figure it out. The Mona Lisa, however, is not just the most famous painting in the world. It is also the source of innumerable myths, legends, and supposition.
Hey there, just a quick moment. Hitting that like button, subscribing, and ringing the bell genuinely supports our channel. It empowers us to keep crafting stories that resonate, extracting key insights and applicable takeaways from biographies, invaluable books, and the dynamic world around us. Each click from you fuels our mission to illuminate and inspire. Thanks for being a part of this journey. Now, back to our story. Let's start with the first factor, the enigmatic smile. Da Vinci's depiction of this elusive smile has ignited debates for centuries. Is she happy, coy, or deeply introspective? The ambiguity of her expression keeps viewers entranced, coming back to interpret and reinterpret her mood. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the genius of ambiguity, a psychological pull hardwired into our brains. Neuroscientific studies suggest our brains love the challenge of decoding ambiguities. When we face something mysterious or ambiguous, it activates our brain's reward circuits, pushing us to seek closure or clarity. So, what's the takeaway for our strategy? The Crafts Lesson 1: Embrace ambiguity. Whether you're crafting a story, designing a product, or even developing a brand, consider weaving in elements of ambiguity. Pose questions without immediate answers. Design with layers of meaning. Challenge your audience's perceptions. When done right, It engages, intrigues, and ensures your work remains at the forefront of conversations. Just as the Mona Lisa's smile leaves us guessing and talking about it even after centuries, your ambiguous touch can extend the life and reach of your work, turning fleeting glances into prolonged engagements. One great example of this concept is the ending of the movie Inception, directed by Christopher Nolan. At the end of the movie, the main character, Dom Cobb, uses a small spinning top to determine if he's in a dream or reality. The film ends with the top spinning, but before we can see whether it falls or continues spinning, the screen fades to black. This deliberate ambiguity has sparked countless debates, discussions, and fan theories regarding the true ending of the movie. Viewers are left pondering and discussing the meaning and implications of that final scene long after the credits roll. Christopher Nolan's choice to leave the ending open to interpretation ensures that Inception continues to be a topic of conversation, thereby prolonging its engagement with audiences. Now, journey with me back to August 21, 1911. A cunning Italian handyman named Vincenzo Peruggia managed to pull off the unimaginable. With the Mona Lisa tucked under his clothing, he slipped out of the Louvre, escaping with what would soon be recognized as the greatest art theft in history. For 2 years, the world mourned the disappearance of the painting, with newspapers, art enthusiasts, and common folk speculating on its whereabouts.
After the museum locks its doors, a handyman, Vincenzo Peruggia, climbs out of hiding and pries the portrait from its frame. The next morning, in broad daylight, he walks out with the Mona Lisa tucked under his arm. An entire day passes before anyone notices the masterpiece is missing. Then she hits the headlines.
Its return to the Louvre in 1913 was celebrated with fanfare, and the theft solidified the Mona Lisa's position as not just an artwork, but an international treasure. Now, the psychology here is fascinating. At a neurological level, when our brains encounter ambiguity, they work harder to find a pattern or meaning, engaging us more deeply. It's called the Zeigarnik effect. Our minds tend to remember uncompleted tasks or unresolved questions. In essence, we're hardwired to crave closure. Have you ever told yourself that you'd only watch one episode of your favorite show, only to realize several episodes later that it's 3 a.m.? Or perhaps you've thought, I'll just finish this chapter, but then you find yourself reading on until you've completed the whole book. Well, that's the Zeigarnik effect in action. The theft of the Mona Lisa, followed by its mysterious absence and eventual return, gave it an interrupted narrative that captivated the world. The Crafts Lesson 2: Capitalize on events. If there's an event or situation that can be leveraged to shine a spotlight on your work, be it a public event, a contest, or even a surprise reveal, use it. It can amplify the recognition of your craft, driving curiosity and conversation. While we're not advocating for staging a theft of your own work, remember, it's about harnessing the power of anticipation and curiosity to keep audiences hooked. Beyond the mysteries embedded in her gaze and the dramatic tales of theft, the Mona Lisa has consistently echoed throughout popular culture. From songs to films, books to TV shows, and even memes in the digital age, the painting's ubiquitous presence has cemented its spot in the collective consciousness. Now you might think, well, of course, a famous painting gets referenced often. But it's a two-way street. Every time the Mona Lisa is woven into a cultural product, it increases its relevance and recognizability. What's at play here? The mere exposure effect. Psychologically, we tend to develop a preference for things merely because we are familiar with them. The more we see or hear about something, the more we tend to like it. The Crafts Lesson 3: Integrate into the cultural fabric. Get your work, product, or craft in front of people in different contexts and through various channels. The more they encounter it, the more they'll grow attached to it. Seek collaborations, encourage reinterpretations, and embrace different platforms to weave your craft into the larger cultural tapestry. Remember, every time someone encounters a reference to your work, you're not just refreshing their memory, you're deepening their connection to it. Every masterpiece has its tales and secrets, and the Mona Lisa is no exception. Whispers of hidden codes, concealed identities, and speculative theories have circled this painting for centuries. Why is there no clear evidence of eyebrows or eyelashes? What's the story behind the peculiar landscape in the background? And then there's the most debated of all, who exactly is the lady depicted? Some believe she might be Da Vinci's mother, while others argue she's an androgynous self-portrait of the artist himself. There are even claims of hidden codes within the painting that lead to buried treasures or reveal secrets about the universe. While not all these theories hold water, they do something crucial. They spark imagination, conversation, and intrigue. They compel us to look closer, to question, and to immerse ourselves in its lore. At a neurological level, when our minds encounter mysteries, especially those that are just within reach of comprehension, we experience what's known as the information gap. It's that intriguing feeling of almost understanding, but not quite. Dr. George Lowenstein coined the term, suggesting that when we notice a gap between what we know and what we want to know, it produces a feeling of deprivation, igniting our curiosity. This is where our brain chemistry gets interesting. When we're curious, our brain releases dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. The craft's lesson 4: ignite curiosity. By leaving subtle mysteries or unanswered elements in your work, you're activating the audience's information gap, compelling them to engage deeper. It's like dangling a carrot in front of them. Their brains are wired to seek the reward of answers. And as they engage, discuss, and try to find meanings, every interaction becomes a dopamine-fueled journey, turning casual viewers into passionate fans. Just as the Mona Lisa's enigmas have kept generations hooked, let your work invite questions and interpretations, fueling the never-ending cycle of curiosity and reward. As we draw the curtains on the enigma that is the Mona Lisa and decode the artistry behind its global allure, we're left with key strategies, not just for artists, but for anyone striving to leave a lasting impact. Number 1. The power of nuance, like the Mona Lisa's mysterious smile. The subtleties and nuances in your work can invoke deep emotional reactions, making your creation memorable. Number 2. Create buzz through unexpected events. The unforeseen, like the Mona Lisa's theft, can be a catalyst for immense interest. Find ways to create or leverage unforeseen events to draw attention. Number 3. Culturally integrate your work. Allow your work to weave into the cultural fabric, becoming a reference point across multiple platforms. Number 4. Ignite curiosity with mysteries. Leave space for interpretation and engagement. Let the minds of your audience play, wonder, and seek answers. In the end, the allure of the Mona Lisa is not just in its strokes and colors, but in the layers of strategy and psychology behind its fame. As you embark on your journey to create, remember these lessons, and perhaps your work too can become an ageless wonder that the world cherishes. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of art, psychology, and strategy. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you can identify more elements contributing to the fame of the Mona Lisa, write them down in the comments. We're always on the lookout for bright minds and unique perspectives. Here's to creating your own masterpiece. Until next time, keep crafting stories that leave a mark on history.